Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Card Advantage podcast. This is episode number 49, and we are 3 days late. Unfortunately, my co-host had some adult responsibilities that he had to take care of, so we are unable to find some time to record. So it is March 5th at 10:16 p.m., and we are getting to this week's / last week's episode, so we apologize for the delay. But as always, joined by my co-host, Mr. Bunk. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. Why am I always getting blamed?
Because I believe the reason we didn't record is because your child had back to school night, and you had to go to that instead of record the podcast.
Well, it wasn't back to school night, guy. It's March.
Well, the fuck do I know? You said you had to go to school for
Yeah,
your
it's
child,
school-
for some sort of
function.
responsibility for your child. So I just assumed it was back to school night. Was it like Peter Pan, the production of
No,
whatever?
she'll be in a new school next year. So it was like a orientation for the next school in the district.
Well, now the listeners have an explanation of why we're late. You had to take care of that, and so here we
I
are.
don't think they care.
No.
But here we go. Let's go.
Yeah.
What do we got?
We didn't get any angry emails though, so yeah. That's,
Well, why would? Oh, that it hasn't. That people live.
Yeah.
There's
All right.
Other bad podcasts to listen to.
We got a good agenda for everybody. So hopefully this will make up for being a couple days late. First topic. It's been a pretty popular topic. A lot of coverage on social media and some posts talking about price manipulation. And we're actually going to talk shilling both up and down on prices. One of the popular cases that people were talking about most recently in the last couple of weeks was there was a Mahomes PSA 10, and that it literally got bid up probably $1,500 above comps and where it was going for, and people basically grabbed the bidding history and could prove that the card was getting shilled up. So it's definitely still a problem. It's always going to be a problem. If anybody ever expects this, market manipulation and price manipulation to go away, it's never going to happen. But the interesting angle that we want to take a look at a little bit here is people that seem to be trying to manipulate the market on the downside and make cards less valuable so they could potentially buy them. Are you seeing the same trend that I'm seeing, where you'll see a card that may comp for like $1,000 and you'll see a best offer at like $300 and get accepted?
Well, more recently now than ever. And then another thing I have so many saved eBay searches at this point that I get almost 100 emails every morning if there's anything listed in that category. And so as I'm going through, I usually get to those the same day. And as I'm going through, there's cards that are already being accepted. Like they're literally being put up and the listing's gone. Meaning someone put them up to have someone else buy them, and then that's what I'm finding. I'm finding things are selling for well under, but that never happens. I usually get it, click on it, put it on a watch list if I need it. But now I'm actually finding a record number. The listing's already gone. You can't find it.
Yeah.
Because it had already sold.
Yeah.
And not because it was, I mean, in some cases because it was so good a price, of course it sold, or because like we've talked about in the past, buddy sells it to another buddy. We've talked about in the past about a buddy selling it, in quotation sell to another buddy for a high price, but I think it's actually occurring on a lower price too. And sometimes, and I've looked too, like it'll happen days before an auction of the same cards ending, just to try to get that comp on the board.
Well, yeah, so that'd be on the high side, or on the low side. I mean, it could go either way as far as like
to keep it down, right?
Yeah, and on the low shilling, I guess you could call it, is usually on higher priced cards. So if cards
And
selling
always a buy it now.
yeah, it's always a best. It's usually a best offer, because then that gives them the control
Yeah,
of being able to accept, because obviously somebody
correct.
could send in a low ball and whatever, or if they list a buy it now at a third of the comps, it'll be gone, and so they keep it as a best offer. So that's definitely another thing that you need to keep an eye on using, use sites like 130 point. And if you're seeing comps, that low and you're in negotiations and you're on the selling side, do not use those as valuation just because, because people could be trying to springboard off of that low comp and then offer you something lower and say, well, just close for this. And but usually that's some form of market manipulation.
Yeah, and as a public service announcement, if you're trying to buy something from somebody, even if it's off eBay, you can't just go by the last auction or price that closed. If there's a whole bunch of them in a reasonable amount of time, say a month, whatever it is, so decide how many weeks is reasonable. I'm not talking about one now and one from 6 months ago. Obviously, they probably don't relate, but just because the last one sold the lowest doesn't automatically make the price that hard. So just a put because I can't, people are out offering stuff for crap. Well, it's closed today for $40 less. Yeah, well, there's four other comps within 10 days from now that are all higher too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, using an average is definitely something that you want to do, but people will try to use anything and everything that they can to try to get prices lower. And then on the opposite side of that, you have people bidding stuff up. It's not that hard especially if you send it off to consignment, that you can bid your own auction up. And it's unfortunate, but you're not going to stop it. And in this particular marketplace, unless it's one of these really popular cards that have tremendous pops on them that are being sold all the time, one sale can influence the market price by so much, just because it's the only thing that you have to judge. So you have to look at other, like, if you don't have a ton of reference points, you should be looking at other cards that are similar, same player, same numbered, same grade, that may be just slightly different, and try to get some other reference points to provide a comp for a card.
Yeah, I'm actually looking now too because we've had a few happen to us, and people are posting all over the place. People just buying stuff and not not paying. Do you know off the top of your head, like right off the bat, if auctions that are unpaid for still can show up in
In 130.
on the comp sites, right?
I don't know, look up that.
I'm doing it right now. I
Yeah,
already
look up
have it
that
up. Yeah,
Tatum.
so it's here. So the last card, we don't need to get into specifics of it, but I'm looking at it right now. From 2 weeks ago, the sale price is there. The person never paid. Now I'm curious to see if there's one listed because now he bumped up from the previous comp before buying ours by about $100. So now
Yeah.
I'm curious to see is there the same card up right now and it's his. But
Yeah, I mean,
I
that
bet you
that
that's
that's
happening.
definitely an interesting point. As far as another angle on market manipulation is, you can bid something up or offer and then just not pay, and then sell the same exact card. I mean, that was the card that we're talking about. The card that we were selling was an SGC 9, and the offer that we got was literally $50 to $60 above comp of the PSA 9. So we were like, hell yeah, we'll take it. And then of course the guy didn't pay.
Yeah, and it was $100 over the previous SGC. But I'm locked in here to completed sales, and I'm just going back to see if there's current auctions.
Yeah, can you look at the buyer and check his stuff?
Oh, I could have done that too. Yeah, I just pulled it up just to see if there's another one up at auction right now or up at all.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it seems like lately we some of the stuff that we have that's listed at a certain price and or best offer, we're getting a ton of people that are offering stuff above comps that we obviously accept, and then they don't pay for. That I never even thought about that. Because that sale gets registered under 130. 130 doesn't know that they didn't pay, so it registers that as a sale, and you can fuck with the pricing basically of any card you want to and not have to pay for it, and eBay's not even going to penalize you.
Nope. Nope. I mean, we talked about it a few weeks ago. I mean, they do the whole 3 strike thing, I guess, and then maybe they suspend you for a week or something like that. But
Yeah, or I can't buy from you anymore, but it's like I can still buy from the millions of other people that are selling stuff.
yeah. All right. So let's see. Of course, the guy's got. I mean, it's not. It's good feedback, but it's low feedback. Let's see if he's got any stuff up for sale. Uh,
Can you look at his completed too?
yeah. Suppose I
Because
could.
this would have been more than 7 days ago.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this individual doesn't sell sports cards. They sell everything but sports card. Sports card. There's one sports card on his site, and
Tell me
it's
it's
a
ours.
no, no, it's not ours, but it's a 101 that they're asking $900 over what it's worth. But let's see, completed listings, sold listings for this buyer. Does it let me do that? Sure does. Yeah, no cards, sir. He just got excited and bought a card
Didn't pay for it.
and didn't pay for it, or he had a buddy with the same card. Yeah, but I think it happens. I mean, so many people are saying how stuff hasn't been paid for, and that's the thing. I wish there was a way you could tell because some of these, sure, cards go up. Something happens in the news or they're playing well and cards start trending upwards.
Yeah,
But you want to be able to verify, like, hey, these are actually real sales, and have some evidence that what you're seeing is true.
yeah, and unfortunately, it's the data's gray, and in this market, I mean, the difference between this market and like the stock market, forex market, crypto market, I mean, those other three financial markets, there's so much price movement and so much volume that you know market manipulation like this is basically unheard of. Yes, there are ways to pump and dump and manipulate those markets, but it takes a much larger force in order to do that. I mean, but if Bunk and I wanted to pump up a card that we have for sale, even let's go back to the Mahomes, we literally could bid up two Mahomes PSA 10s and just not pay for them and then put ours up for sale. And then anybody looking at 130 that wants to pull the value will see those two closed sales that are over comps and think that the price is going up. And you only need two or three in order to make some sort of trend happen. And once again, I could set up 10 eBay accounts right now and bid something up and not pay for it and not get penalized in any way.
No, I mean, you get a slap on the wrist. I think you get away with it at least 3 times,
Yeah, but if I, s-
and then before
I
they
could go to Gmail right now and be like shillbidder1@gmail.com is my email address and set up, a new eBay account and then just bid it up. And then who cares if they shut that down?
and sadly, it wouldn't red flag eBay either
No. I mean,
because you're a buyer.
it- I mean, and that's the problem is like at some point eBay's gonna have to do something here. There's a lot of pissed off people that continue to
But do they?
complain. No, they don't. And
They're not going to do a damn thing.
yeah, and until sales start to dip, which I hate to say it, eBay's still the strongest marketplace as far as prices go. Until they take a hit financially, unfortunately, nothing's going to get done.
Yep.
And so it just goes to show to continue to do your homework, continue to look at other comps. If something looks out of place, it potentially or probably is, unless you have like a Joe Burrow situation where it's going into the playoffs. Obviously, there's a good reason why his cards are up 2 to 3x what they were in week 12. But if it's just random stuff, I mean the player that we were selling was a Jason Tatum. So it's like, yeah, he's playing good basketball, but we're still 2 months at that point. We're still 2 months out of the playoffs. There's no reason to pay over comps. So just continue to be vigilant. There's all kinds of new ways that people are coming up with to manipulate the markets.
Yeah. And I keep thinking back all the times we look up certain cards every day, and then we're like, damn, some idiot accepted this amount for this card, and then think about all the times we've said that. I
Yeah,
wonder, and we didn't deep dive it per se. We just like,
yeah, and I
we
mean,
probably should have looked into it.
now now we're much more looking out for it, I guess you could say. So it's definitely something that you have to continue to keep your eyes on, and especially if you're buying and selling for flipping purposes, um, you got to really be aware because that will mess with your bottom lines pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's your money, right? You want to feel good about what you're buying. You want to feel like you got the best value possible. You don't want to feel like at the end of the day that you were had by an extra 50, 60 bucks because people are doing this stuff or whatever the amount might be. You want to feel good about what you're buying.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, even if it's for PC, you don't want to pay 50% more than what it's worth,
Yeah, because
regardless.
someone else is trying to pump it. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Or if you're selling, you don't want to sell it for less than market value because somebody else manipulated the price and fucked around with their friend and sold them a few cards to drop the comps.
I mean, the nice thing is the seller at the end of the day, you still have to say yes, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless it's at an auction, people can cite all the low comps they want. You're going to sell it when you're going to sell it. So,
Yeah, but at the same time, in an auction, same deal. You and I could trade two or three cards back and forth, and I do a best offer, and you offer me half of comps, and we could put three prices on the board of 50% of comps, and then
right.
go buy the card for real, and try to get it for less than market value.
Yeah. I'm sure there's schemes like that all over the place.
Yeah, I mean,
There's definitely people doing it. And you know what I'm actually surprised about? That people, because usually those people are so dumb that they're posting about it, but you don't usually see people posting. You know
yeah,
what
I
I mean?
mean these days with
Those type of criminals, sort of thing. They're
yeah,
so
well,
dumb that they tell you what they're doing.
these days with Twitter and Instagram and some of the bigger accounts that are out there, that stuff makes its way around pretty quick. So
Well,
I
that's what I
mean,
mean. Meaning, I don't see
yeah,
people talking or doing it, or at least advertising it. I mean, they'd be stupid too, but
yeah.
wouldn't shock me.
All right, guy. Anything else you want to talk about on this, or should we move on to all of your new tops glory?
No, I don't know if it's glory per se, but yeah, we got I got I get the I mean, not that I'm tech savvy here, but I get like the little Google articles every day or whatever, and because I'm always searching baseball cards, it's always you know
Can
check out 1991 tops and
can
remember
can,
the.
can we
But anyway,
back up a second? You associated with tech savvy and Google in the same sentence, like those things should be
no,
used in the same
meaning it
sentence.
pops up. I don't ask it to pop up; it just pops up on my phone. I don't know what the hell's
I
going on,
don't
but
ask it to pop up
I
like
get
his
baseball
phone
card
knows
articles
him.
every day.
All right.
Anyway, from Beckett this week, I got an article sent to me that's all the new product lines in 2022. So never previously been released before by Top. Uh, so I'm just going to mention a couple of them that jumped out at me. The first one is 2022 Top Stadium Club. It's called Members Only Baseball.
And
So
Stadium Club, didn't Stadium Club exist previously?
yeah, well, yeah, Stadium Club has existed since like 1991. I mean, they had, and this is where the actual members only came from. Like one of the parallels back in the early 90s, if you were an actual member of the top Stadium Club, which I'm sure was probably like a send away or rapper send away or something like that. I don't remember at the time, but they would release factory sealed sets. So it's the same exact cards, but that had the members only stamp on it. And they're factory sealed. I know one year there's like 12,000 of them or something. So it's not like they were crazy rare, but it was rare compared to the amount they printed of the base card. Um, and yeah, and then they brought Stadium Club back. So they have Stadium Club. And now, of course, because you need it, you have Stadium Club Chrome now. And now they're doing Stadium Club members only,
Oh,
which is going
okay.
to be they're comparing it to a transcendent type product. So it's going to have a
Oh,
massive
wow.
price tag, massive price tag. It includes an invitation for a meet and greet event with Derek Jeter.
Ooh.
Boxes gonna have 14 autographs. So if you've ever watched like on YouTube, a case of Transcendent being open, that's what I'm envisioning for the Stadium Club members only.
But with a meeting for Jeter, so we'll have to save some pennies for you, guy, and
Save
let
some pennies. I mean, I'm thinking this is gonna be like 25K, something like that, or if it's coming in under Transcendent, I don't know, but it's gonna be a lot.
gotta get some money together to let you meet the captain.
Nah. Well, he's not. He's done with the Marlins now, so I figured the Yanks are gonna sign him to play shortstop.
I don't even know if that's obviously I know that that's not going
No.
to happen, but you know. All
Yeah,
right,
no.
moving right along.
So because we don't have enough Topps Chrome, there's something coming in, I believe, November. So you'll get your regular Topps Chrome release, and you can all do your Wander huntings because the Topps Chrome Wander Auto is going to be. I can't even fathom the price tag on Topps Chrome Wander Autos. I believe that comes out in July. But later in the year, November, we're getting something called Topps Chrome Cosmic Baseball.
Ooh.
Cosmic Baseball. So uh, they're advertising it as 3 parallels per box, but autographs are rare. So they're only at 4 autographs per case, meaning you're not
Oh, wow.
guaranteed one in a box, assuming that there's obviously more than 4 boxes in a case. This is slated for November release, and they did, they in quotations in the article it says it's going to be a out of this world release.
Oh, good one, Tops.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's gonna look like that, that Bowman's Best insert set we saw that had like the planets in the background and stuff. So I don't know what kind of there's no pictures or of this stuff or anything. So
So is this Tops
uh
doing their best Panini imitation and just releasing a whole bunch of new product so that they can flood the market at this point?
good call. I wonder if Topps Chrome Cosmic's gonna look something like I mean they've already ripped off those. So I've been counting on those home field advantages. I mean we're up into the hundreds now on a bunch of these guys, and only a small percentage of total 22 product has been ripped.
And in case
So
you are wondering, I get daily updates on how many Bryce Harper of this card is up on eBay. Every day I get updates.
well, because people are like, oh, it's rare. I'm like, no, it's not going to be rare. If you look at the pack odds and how many are already out in comparison to what we can kind of assume has been ripped already, there's going to be a lot of them. It's not rare.
Yeah.
So, like we talk about all the time, you dropping $150 on this card because it looks really cool the day it releases. Well, sorry, it's going to be worth $10 soon.
Yeah.
But
But I
it is
mean,
what it is.
circling back, I mean, because obviously Panini has such a like we've done it on this podcast before, comparing the amount of product that Panini has out compared to Tops, and Tops is nowhere near producing the amount. I mean, but my question becomes, obviously this stuff was in the works before Fanatics bought Tops, um, and my question is, does this last more than 1 year? Does Fanatics shut this down so that the market isn't as diluted, with all these additional products?
I think they're going to look at a number of things. I mean, I think they're going to have some baseline ideas about what their ideal total release for the year is, and then listen, just like everyone else, they're going to be trying to make money, so that they'll look at resale values. What got hyped the most, what sold, what's sold high for the longest, what's most talked about, who's collecting,
Well, it's
I
definitely something to keep an eye on as far as like Wander, for example. If there's it's either A, the last year of product is in existence and Fanatics shuts it down, or B, if it's one of these new products that only lasts for 1 year and then it goes away, I would think that those would have more value because it doesn't exist. It's almost like a hidden type of thing.
Yeah, I could see that. Again, but did it go away because it just didn't make the cut, not because it wasn't wildly popular, or did it go away just because Fanatics said screw it?
Well, that's the thing.
So
If it's a not established, obviously your Bowman's Best and Topps Chrome and some of these other, are
yeah, your
established.
staples,
Yeah,
right?
but Topps Chrome Cosmic, I mean, it may just come and go for a year because Topps is like, we don't want three versions of Topps Chrome to be out there.
Oh, no doubt. I mean that's definitely going to happen, I'm sure. But again, like I said, they're going to have their what they believe is the best release schedule based on what's out there and what's popular. They got to move product. So
Yeah, I'm I'm
um,
I'm curious to see, what some of their first moves are going to be. Um, Anything else on the Topps release list?
Yeah, we got a couple more new ones. I thought this was cool. I mean, I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but I follow people who are buying into some of the boxes that come out, and see the price tags on some of these players. But Bowman Chrome is going to be doing soccer.
And this is
So they're
this is
so
a
yeah,
first, right?
this is a fur. They're going to be doing a European soccer set, and just like Bowman, it's going to have a focus on the youth and prospects. Um, Uh,
So we're talking like
eh,
15-year-old.
I guess again. So I only know the rules pretty much for we know how it works with football, basketball, baseball in terms of college to draft to high school to draft to the pros and how it works. So I don't know how it works. I guess if you're signed to a European League team, then you're in. But just like regular Bowman Chrome, it's going to have one Chrome autograph. It'll have the parallels, and I believe they're going to use like a first Bowman type deal on it.
Oh, that's cool.
So
When's that come out?
summer coming
Okay.
out this summer.
I mean, there's so much interest. Obviously, soccer is number one sport in the world, and there's been so much interest in soccer and the hobby. So starting to feature these guys similar to the way they are in baseball. I mean, because there's cards of some of these guys that are baseball players that are 17 years old, 18 years old. So doing the same for soccer isn't bad. It helps get people into the sport earlier and starting to follow some of these rising stars on smaller club teams before they make the big time. So that sounds like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, and if they do a good job with it, which I mean, I'm sure they will, and it lasts for a while, and then you have you get some the next young stud, and you have the 2022 first Bowman Chrome. I mean, I don't know if they're going to put Bowman first on. I don't know how it's going to work with soccer, but yeah, it could have some staying power with how popular soccer is.
Awesome. All right, what else you
And
got?
then, yeah, I got one more for you. So I don't know, how many of our listeners are big on buying, direct from the Topps website, but they have all sorts of weekly releases that you can buy. So if you're familiar with the Bowman Next line, they've been highlighting collegiate players. I've seen basketball and football, so I don't know any of the college basketball players, but I recognize quite a few of the college football players that they release on a weekly basis. They release three or four of them. You can buy them. Depending on how many get bought, it could be a low or high print run. But they're coming out with something this year called 2022 Bowman University. So
Ooh.
it'll be showcasing collegiate talent, just like, and if you're familiar with, that's why I mentioned the Bowman Next line.
Okay. So
So
I
so
mean,
it'll be
obviously,
just like regular Bowman. It'll have Bowman Chrome in it. You got I think it's gonna be like your typical whatever it is, 6 card pack, 8 card pack, 6 paper, 2 Chrome, whatever it is. These are also gonna have in this article it says these will have a first Bowman designation. So I don't know how that's gonna work with you
so
haven't been drafted yet.
that
And
well, that's the thing. The biggest difference with these and the current college cards that have come out in the past is all the previous college cards that have been released. All those guys have already been drafted. They're already on a pro team. They're already professionals. They've lost their amateur status. And with the most recent NIL, which is name and likeness um, privileges that college kids have gotten to make money off their name and likeness, which basically means their face. They can be on cards now and still be in college and get paid by the card companies. So, I mean that brings a whole new aspect to the hobby, especially if they're getting put out by Bowman and they're going to have a first Bowman designation to it, and what then becomes a first card or a rookie card or first auto. I'm sure some of these cards are going to be autographed at some point too. So it's going to be good. I guess it's going to be, what the fuck's the word I'm looking for? Um, Interesting to watch as far as the value is concerned. Since they're still in college. Is that will their college play? Some quarterback from Alabama drops 600 yards and 7 TDs in a bowl game. Is that going to affect the value of their first Bowman cards?
yeah, like I don't see that's what I need to know. So I buy this product over the summer. Who's not coming out? CJ Stroud, Bryce Love, they're not coming out this year, right? So if I get a Bowman Chrome, Bowman University card of them, and it says first Bowman, and they're obviously in their college uniform, I'm assuming. Then what
Yeah.
happens when they get drafted and they come out? Is that not their first card anymore, or are we still in the same boat of okay, this one is the college uniform. Well, here's the first pro uniform, so pro uniform wins, even though this one says first Bowman on.
Yeah, that adds a whole nother dimension. Will the prices rise while the kid is still in college, and then all of a sudden, as soon as he has pro uniform cards, do those prices, do they fall off, and does he start a whole new path, in the pros? And I think that's probably what you're going to end up seeing if you had sophomore year Trevor Lawrence cards and he rips it up and wins a couple titles. The value of those cards is probably going to go up, but then as soon as he gets drafted by the Jaguars and throws 15 interceptions, I would imagine his college stuff is all going to tank, and then eventually it'll settle. But I think that's where you're going to be.
And then with football, right? They're never going to have another Bowman card because there are no Bowman football cards, right? But they
Not
can get
not
away with
yet.
it now. Yeah, yeah, not yet. Right, I understand, but but that's still years away. So it's like, okay, I got a first Bowman college uniform of this guy, and then there's never going to be another Bowman card until who
Yeah,
knows.
till
So
2026.
yeah, so it's interesting. Like, does the first Bowman carry any weight? Give me some college baseball players in the product. I
Oh
think that could
God.
get some play because immediately they're going to go from the draft, and now all of a sudden they're actually in Bowman. So now, okay, now it's their first Bowman, and then now they have another Bowman after the draft. So
Yeah, it's not their
that
first.
could get
It's not.
interesting,
Yeah, it's not their first Bowman anymore.
right? But does it still get respect like the first one because they're in the college uniform? I
It's
don't
just
know.
another. It's just another reason to keep those printers running, and
Yeah.
get guys
Yep.
buying
Yep. Yep.
boxes and breaks and grading and all that. Keeps the
You,
machine running.
you think calling it university helps bring in some younger people? Like, do you think people kind of gravitate towards it, and that's their first card experience is because it's
I
university?
mean, you may have people that are trying to, rep their school and buying cards for certain players. And I mean, I remember how we were in college. We were a bunch of freaking degenerates. We'd buy, sell, penny stocks, gambling, whatever we could get our hands on. So it wouldn't surprise me that if you had, studs that are freshmen at, big schools, that they have cards now that the people at those universities and just college kids in general aren't going to be, buying and selling and grading and doing whatever with those. So
Yep. But
it's
those are all the new lines coming out. So definitely some interesting stuff there. I mean, I'm curious to see what some of them look like for sure. But
yeah, should be fun to watch. All right. So we wouldn't be doing our job as sports card podcast hosts if we didn't talk some form of Morant on this podcast. Obviously, we're a few days late on that, but we're going to take a little bit of a different angle and use Mr. Morant as a slab war candidate for this week.
yes.
Um, I will. For those of you that are new to the show, Slab Wars is something that we do every couple of weeks. We take a one card and compare it across the different grading companies to just give you guys an idea of price comparison and how things are stacking up. I will say this is the first time we've had all six major grading companies in one episode. We were able to find. We're using the Morant 2019 Prism base card. The reason why we use base and none of these other parallels that are lower pops is just so that we can actually get a comparison and sales volume to be able to compare these within a concentrated window of time. So these prices are compared between March 1st and March 5th. I will give people a public service announcement. This is going to be very favorable to BGS. So you're probably going to get a whole bunch of I told you so's from Mr. Bunk. But anyway, we'll get started. At the top of the list, BGS 10 closed on March 4th for $824.50. The pops on that are really low, which is why that card value is very high compared to PSA 10, which closed also March 5th for $303. The pop on that card is 19,000 and change. So obviously, pops are way up on that.
19,000 tens.
Yeah, 19,000 tens.
19,000 tens.
19,000 tens.
Okay. Just save that thought for a minute.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Let me get through the rest of the segment and then you can have your moment in the sun here.
Nah, no moment.
SGC 10 closed for 215. BGS 95 186. CSG 95 160. And bringing up the rear at HGA 95 150. Obviously, with CSG and HGA, neither one of them are 10 heavy. So, we use the 9.5 as the comparison because that's basically all you can find on that. Just some interesting points here, even with pop of 19,000 and change on PSA. PSA still selling for double HGA, CSG, BGS 9.5s. Even the SGC 10, you're still talking about a roughly 50% increase in price between that 215 and 303. It's probably 40% and change. And then the big number here, BGS 10 will still reign supreme. You're talking 2.5 times, almost 3 times, almost 3x the value on the BGS 10 versus the PSA 10, which is incredibly. It's a little surprising. Usually, it's not a 3x multiplier in the difference between those prices, but that's what you got here.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with the pop on the BGS 10. The fact of the matter is the BGS 10 is considered an actual 10 card. You have 19,000 PSA 10s, and if you sub them all to BGS, you're going to get a wide range of crap, ranging probably from 8 to, and maybe you end up with a couple BGS 10s.
Did you just say that?
I said 8. So
well, let's
like,
back.
I would have said 8.5, but they don't know how to do half grade.
The fuck up here.
It's too hard to do half grade.
All right, let's back the fuck up.
Just calm down with it.
You actually think that if we took
19. I got 19,000 chances.
A large sample size that you're gonna get BGS 8s in there?
Guy, 19,000 10s. We know damn well half of them are 9.5s, the other half are 9s, and maybe 1% of them, 1% of them or less, probably less, are actually BGS 10. This is why I don't like PSA and the 10 because of this exact example. So because it says 10, it sells for twice all the 9.5s. But if we actually care about what's in the slab, it's probably a 9.5, and you just pay double for it. And that's also why you have 3x on a BGS 10. This isn't the only card where you see this like this. The BGS 10 always, if you can find them, always sells for much, much higher. And this exact layout is exactly the model of what I have in my head. The PSA 10 should not be 303. It should be a little bit closer to the 9.5s because they're probably most of them are 9.5s.
Yeah,
that's my whole argument on things, and that's why PSA needs the 9.5. But I already laid out for you why they'll never do it and why they can't.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they added 9.5 now. It fucks their whole system.
It screws every card that they've ever graded. Right? Yeah. They can't do it now. I get it. Like unless they'd have to come out with a stupid blue label slab or something. I don't know, but. When we figured out not being dumb, grading cards error.
Just try not to have a stroke.
No, I mean, listen, I've already spoke to it. They're geniuses. They're absolute geniuses for not having a 9.5. So they win. Boom. Now we all run out and buy PSA 10s because it says 10.
Yeah, that we do.
I mean, I'm getting it. I know people mock me all the time. I fully understand how this works, but they're not all 10s.
No.
These other companies.
I mean,
you could take all 19,000 and send them to CSG for all I care. You're gonna get a handful of 10s.
Yeah, and
their label says 10.
It really would be a good, great experiment if we had, some form of large cash.
When I win Powerball, we'll do that.
Yeah, exactly. Buy 100 PSA 10s and send them to BGS and see what comes back.
You can send them to any company that has a 9.5. It doesn't matter what.
I don't disagree. I mean, there's definitely. I will say that comparing PSA 10s to SGC 10s, as far as actual what's in the slab, I think PSA does a much better job. I definitely think there's SGC 10s that you get BGS 8s all day.
Can't argue with you there. Can't argue with there at all. But I don't accept the argument that the BGS 9.5 Gem Mint is the same as the PSA 10 Gem Mint, because at the end of the day, it says 10, so it sells for more because it says it says 10. You can't tell me they're the same when they don't have anywhere near the same value. You just can't do it. I don't buy that argument at all.
Yeah, well, that's why you got to. I mean, depending on what you're buying for, if you're, or what you're trying to grade to sell for, if you're trying to sell for highest dollar, then you got to sell it. You got to go to PSA for grading. I mean, we've talked
Yeah,
about
and
it.
and listen, I can sit here all I want and tell you that my BGS 9.5s are more valuable than PSA 10s, but when I go to
You,
sell them, it ain't gonna
yeah, I
happen.
was gonna say you'd be the
I,
only one that thinks that.
yeah, I'm fully aware, but I believe they are as valuable as PSA 10s or more, and maybe one day that'll happen. But
Never.
I yeah,
I'll
we'll see.
I'll let you.
You keep running up 19K pop PSA 10s for a while. It's
So
gonna
which
somehow
which
get them.
which one which one's gonna happen first? HGA goes out of business, or um, BGS 95s become more valuable than PSA 10s?
I don't know, guy. You're really kicking me in the nuts here. But yeah, I mean, yeah, HGA will go out of business first.
Yeah, I would say so. Um, all right. Any other? You want to sneak it? Any other BGS
No, but I'd
rants
like to
here?
have dialogue. If people don't understand what I'm talking about with the PSA 10 problem here, like just we can have a conversation about it. Jeff will drop
Well,
the email address. Let's talk about it because maybe I'm missing a point, but I'm pretty sure I laid it out clear. The fact that there's no 9.5 ruins everything.
yes, if you'd like to give us your opinion, send us an email, info@sportscardadvantage.com, or simply reply to us on Twitter when we post the link for this week's episode. Hopefully, maybe one day, we'll get Mr. Nat Turner on the podcast, and then you and Nat can wax poetic about PSA
What's he gonna
95s.
say? Yeah, you're right. We don't have a 9.5 because we make a ton more money because we. No, he's not gonna tell me that. He'll come up with some fugazi reason, and if he watches any of these past episodes, he'll never come talk to me.
I would
I
have
mean,
to
I
say
hope he
that
would. I mean, I'm not.
I would have to say he's probably not watching our episodes, but you never
If I was
know.
going on somebody's show, I would try to look back and see.
That's true. Very, very true.
Me personally.
Um, yeah, I would agree. But you never know. Hopefully, one day we can have that conversation, and maybe he'll be able to provide some insight. I've never heard anybody ask the question to him on all the other podcasts that he's gone on. I never heard anybody ask the question, why isn't there a PSA 9.5?
Am I the only one? I can't be the only one that asked that.
I don't think you are, but I've never heard anybody on any of the other podcasts ask him that question specifically.
Yeah, they give it's like presidential debates. They get the questions ahead of time.
They get the softball questions.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to transition into the next category, next topic. I mean, a name that I never thought that we would mention on this podcast, but we're going to have to mention it. Mitch or Mitchell Trubisky. There is strong rumors being posted on ESPN's social media sites, as well as some influencers. Shout out to our boy Kenneth, who was guest on the show at one point, talking about Mitch Trubisky. And between the social posts and some of the influencers that are shouting him out, his prices have started to move. The rumor is that he is going to be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts next season. So we're going to take a look at some Mitch Trubisky cards.
Can't wait.
I know you're super excited. I mean, I personally have already looked at the charts, and I think unfortunately my play here is if you can buy it raw. Buy raw silvers. So it's the rookie season is 2017. Everything was silver that year. There is no base. His raw silvers are going for $18.65. They were going for $5.50
Damn.
as of January, so 2 months ago. And then as of December, they were going for $2. So you basically were.
I mean, that's a big move.
You were giving these away, a few months ago. So his PSA 10 silvers pop 556 have gone from November, December, $57 to last price close yesterday at 176.
That's a 9 or a 10?
That's a 10.
Okay.
So you're talking 3x in over the course of the last couple months. The high on this card is September 2020 at $210. Let me actually go back.
I mean, realistically,
All time.
unless he starts 5-0 with the Colts, are we really going to see $200 on that card again? Guess we could.
I think if he's officially named the starter, this card's
It rides right up over it.
oh yeah, the FOMO is going to be crazy. Look at Carson Wentz. So in my opinion, this is the same thing that we got with Carson Wentz last year. So, Carson Wentz, his PSA 10 silvers in springtime were hitting $700. And then now, as of February, $100.
That's Wentz.
Yes, that is Wentz.
So somebody paid $700.
Somebody paid $700 last April. Before the season, obviously you had the draft, and you had all the hype, and he gets named the starter, and the trade, and all that other crap. 688, 690, 700, 799, high price, 720, 660. And then it died off in the off season, and then got hot again in the $450 to $500 range during camp and preseason. And then as soon as the season started, it tanked. The bottom dropped out. And I would have to imagine that Mitchell will see a similar fate, unless he leads the Colts to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, when you told me you were going to talk about him, I went back and looked at his career numbers. I have to say, I was actually shocked that they weren't as bad as I thought they were. He's got a winning record. He's got way more touchdowns than picks. And to be fair, it's not like I was watching Bears games all the time, so I don't know. Like I said to you earlier, I don't really have that eyeball test on him. But yeah, I mean, it shows any sort of confidence, and he has in the past. The hype's going to be real.
Oh yeah, the hype is going to be real. The hype was
It
real.
already is.
The
I mean,
hype,
even just rumors of him going to the Colts.
Yeah.
You're telling me the Raws went from $2 to $18? That's massive.
Yeah, and PSA 10s went from $55 to $176. So you're talking 3+ X already. The card will, if he is named official starter of the Colts, the card's going to be selling for fucking crazy money at National in July. Because
if you were that awesome seller that's left the PSA 10 silver Mitchup on your eBay store for the last 4 years at 900 or buy it now, you might be able to cash in because you still own it.
That is possible, but yeah, I would have to imagine that Mitch will be all the buzz at National this year if he's named the starter. There'll be people trying to buy Mitch Trubisky cards. So I personally, if you missed this initial 3.5x pump,
I would dig through what you got of him and just unload it.
Yeah,
I don't know
either that, or now that PSA has dropped prices down to $50, if you can find some really clean raw copies and get them out there for $50, or send them to SGC for $30, and then just sit on them. If you can get some 10s, sit on them until if he is named starter, I would dump him right there.
I mean, you don't even need to. I mean, if you're paying $50 to grade right now, and you're getting them for less than $20. I mean, you just turn them right over. Just put them right up.
Yeah, if you want to do that, you can do that. Otherwise, as I said, if he gets named the starter, I have a feeling you're going to see another pump, and then you dump him so that you don't wait to see what he's going to do on the field.
What was his draft class? I mean, he went second overall, didn't he? Did they move up
yes, 2017 NFL draft.
Just one of those years where you need a quarterback, so you got to take one. Hope you pick right, or is it
Myles Garrett, number 1, Mitch, Number 2, Solomon Thomas. Number 3, Fournette 4, Corey Davis 5, Jamal Adams 6, Mike Williams 7, McCaffrey 8, John Ross 9, Mahomes 10,
Whoops.
Deshaun Watson 12. So yeah,
Better than Mitch.
Mitch got drafted ahead of Mahomes and Watson. I'm almost positive there's another quarterback. And no other QBs in the first round. Deshaun Kaiser in the second round. He didn't turn into anything. And then Davis Webb in the third round. So yeah, basically other than
so the class was gross. I mean,
Mahomes and Watson. Solid, but
no, agree. But there wasn't like 4 top 10 quarterbacks picked that year, sort of thing, and everyone was lobbying or trying to grab one. So we had the what?
The first round was pretty freaking weak overall, to be honest with you. If you're looking at it,
just a bad year.
Yeah, you had T.J. Watt at the bottom of the first round, so obviously that turned out well for the Steelers, but it's not a whole lot of other guys. Another embarrassing draft for the Giants with Evan Ingram and a few other things.
But, Davis Webb.
And Davis Webb. So yeah, I unfortunately think that unless you can buy raw and grade, I would be very, very cautious. That's just it. It's already up almost 4x in the last 2 months, and he hasn't even been named the starter or thrown a pass yet. So
he's not even on the team.
Yeah, does he have a team yet?
Last I saw, he was on the Bills.
Did he get cut?
Wasn't he backing up Josh Allen?
Oh Christ! I just looked at the first headline that comes up that says Giants likely to target Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh, interesting.
But now all of a sudden you're a fan.
Now I'm on board. Let's go.
Oh yeah, well you have Dable
I don't want them to draft a quarterback this year. So
you have Dable and Schoen coming over from Buffalo.
They got to see Mitch all year.
Yeah.
In practice.
Let's see, Bleacher Report, NFL rumors, Mitch Trubisky gaining strong momentum due to changes in QB market. Desperate teams, including New Orleans, Carolina, Pittsburgh, Washington, Denver, and then obviously the Giants. Trade options are appearing to dwindle for those clubs as reports came out stating that Aaron Rodgers will likely remain with Green Bay, and Deshaun Watson and Russ Wilson also potentially staying put. So, yeah, there's a bunch of teams that need a quarterback, so it definitely looks like Mitch could wind up starting somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, hold on to your hats, kids. If you're looking to make a Mitch play, that the buying and grading would be what I would do.
The takeaway is do it now.
Yeah, now would be the time, because as soon as he gets named starter, you're gonna get pandemonium and freaking FOMO, and people are gonna be just buying stupid and hoping to cash out at a later date. All right. This week's couch cushion investments coming at you. What do you got for us?
Oh shoot! I forgot. I got my notes here.
Do we have a designation on a specific price on what we're deeming a couch cushion investment?
I don't know. I mean, those Bichettes last week were pretty cheap. The one I got tonight, I got they're both under $60.
All right, what do you got?
I'm going back. One of the first ones I ever recommended on when you first were like, "Yo, dude, we're doing investments section." I was like, "All right."
Is this Austin Riley?
Yeah, did I tell you that?
No,
How'd you pull that out of your ass?
That was the first guy that you ever recommended on our podcast.
I said one of the first. I don't remember. I didn't. He was the first.
He was the first guy.
Right. Yeah.
Shout out, episode 1, where you recommended Austin Riley at super cheap, and I think by the time the Braves hit the playoffs, it was like 15 or 20x when you recommended it. So
yeah, I mean, I didn't buy any graded after I recommended it. I just bought a bunch because I was also recommending raw autos, and I bought a ton of the raw autos, and I did well on those.
Yeah.
But what I picked out today, though, because coming off now, he's a World Series champ. He's still only going to be, well, I don't know, what is he, 24, 25 on opening, what would have been opening weekend. Looking at his
You couldn't have
29.
saved this for the 50 episode anniversary guy. You had to drop it here.
Oh, I didn't really.
Been a throwback to episode 1. Come on, guy. You got to think ahead. All
Yeah,
right,
I only got a few minutes of my busy week to think of somebody to look up.
guy.
So we went with a
You need to
29.
spend less time with your kids and more time focused on the podcast.
Not gonna happen.
All
Yeah,
right,
I got a
go.
coach guy. 2019 Topps Heritage, Austin Riley, PSA 10, Pop, 343. Last one, 24 bucks. Coming off a high of 65, so it's at a third of its value. World Series champ now. Braves are going to be good again. He's still young, coming off a 30 bomb season, coming off a 300 season. So, nice cheap 10 rookie card you can get in on.
2019 Topps Heritage. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So last sale was 24
$24.
bucks.
Yep.
Got it. Okay, I got the charts up for those of you that are watching on YouTube.
Yeah, I think the pop on that's like in the 340 range. So super
Yeah.
low pop on it. I have no doubt. A price like that as a 10, it's gonna go up.
Yeah,
It's gonna go
340.
back up.
Excuse me, 343. I mean, this card, all-time low for this card was July of last year at $12. And that was very, very brief. But otherwise, it's been trading above that with high of 49, 50 bucks, 60 bucks.
Yeah, 65 is the high, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah, again, couch cushion guy. Couch
I
cushion.
know,
No
dude.
chart. No charts needed.
I'm not knocking it. If you can find a couple of these, you can definitely make a few bucks on a
Yeah,
turn. I mean,
just like
now would be the time when everybody's shitting on baseball because they can't come to an agreement. So if you can scoop some up, I mean, baseball's going to happen at some point.
yeah, and even though there's only 340, like we said, you still might come across put it in a save search. You might find somebody who's got 3 or 4 of them going up in an auction, and it's a great opportunity because you probably come in under the current value, and you flip a couple and you get one for free in a couple months. And then the other one I was looking at, just because people love the first Bowman's, his first Bowman, even though his rookie is 19, his first Bowman's in 2015, so he's got a 2015 Bowman Chrome draft. Looking at those PSA 10s, they slightly lower pop, just over 300 on those. Those are roughly about 60 bucks right now, and they were previously a high of 150 or more.
Which I'm sorry, I was actually looking to see if there's any Austin Riley on eBay right now, just for the sake of shits and giggles. What was the card here
2015 Bowman Chrome draft.
for
That's his first,
for Riley?
yeah, his
Okay,
first Bowman.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, just I like to throw that example out because there's always that debate. Are you a rookie card logo guy or are you the first Bowman guy? So I like to have one of each.
All right. I was trying to bring up the chart. Bowman draft.
Yeah,
Chr-
but Bowman Chrome though.
Bowman draft Chrome.
Yeah, I don't know if Movers had the paper or not. I didn't look that far.
So last sale, $62.
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah, got the chart up now.
Yeah, so yeah, young guy, 60 buck first Chrome PSA 10, and like I said, the Braves are going to be right back in it. Cuna's coming back, fresh off the World Series.
Yeah, with him
Uh,
back in the line, does that help Riley's potential production? You got some
I
more
think it does.
protection.
Yeah, heck yeah, it does. You keep the line, you keep that lineup moving around and around. More ABs, more runs score. More offense.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously during World Series, this card topped out at over 150.
Right, and again, when we brought it up, when I brought it up, it was Austin Riley. Like, what, Austin who? I mean, now he's got a little bit of name for himself, and while he's still not the huge name in the world, you've seen what he's able to do in the market on a team that's playing well, and when he played well. So I feel good about it based on last year alone.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like there's any auctions of Austin Riley, but there are some, like $50 or best offer type of things. Let's have a little fun here. Let's make an offer. See if we
Which
can,
card are you looking
the
at?
Heritage.
Remember, I can't. Heritage.
The 2019 Topps Heritage.
Yeah, $20 free ship. Let's go.
20. Well, I'm gonna offer. I'm gonna offer comp at 25. So let's see. Offered, not accepted.
Right.
Bollocks.
That's the guy who has all the Mitch Trubisky's too.
All right. He took an offer at $30. Let's see if he takes it. And
He better.
that'd still be
Oh, he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't have to. But
yeah, it'd still be below where it was and gives us some opportunity for some fun. For whatever reason this guy takes the offer, we'll give away the card on the pod and give it out to somebody. We haven't done that in a bit.
and you're a fake Braves fan, so that's cool.
Exactly. I had a starter jacket back in 1996 or 7.
And you had a Glavin jersey, I think.
I
Yeah,
did.
one of those guys. It was
Yeah.
Glavin. All
I
right.
had the Tommy G jersey. Fuck, where the hell did that go?
I don't know, but I feel like we used to play basketball. You'd wear it while we were playing basketball.
Guy, we used to wear a Mark Price jersey when we were playing basketball.
Mark Price. What team was he on? Utah?
Cleveland.
No, Cleveland. Damn.
All right, as we're strolling down memory lane here,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk. You have anything else about Mr. Riley?
No, that's it. I was looking. For example, because of last year, if you look at some of his scarcer, cooler looking parallels, autographs, they're all still pretty elevated. So, when players coming off like that, there's still bargains to be had, even in an elevated market. Just gotta look around.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna move on and close the show. Since we're late, you get some bonus minutes this week. We're past the hour. We'll close it out with a little bit of Luca chatter. Shout out to our favorite listener in Minnesota, talking about some Luca tonight. Luca's been absolutely on a tear. Mavericks are going to make the playoffs. We're starting to look around for some of his lower pop stuff that you may be able to make some money on. So right now I have up on screen 2018 Prism Emergent Green. Last sale was $137, pop 210. Just cool looking card. If you can get your hands on one, these cards have hit over $450 3 times in the last like 12 months roughly. So they've definitely, they peaked and then they bounced down and then they bounced back up, and then even as recent as November, the card was at $425. So if you can, as I said, once again, if you can get your hands on it, Mavs make any kind of run in the playoffs, all Lucas stuff is going to go up, provided he keeps playing the way he's playing. And
Why-
then go ahead.
I was gonna say, why we gotta wait for the playoffs? If he's lights out, why aren't the prices high now?
I don't know. For some reason, hobby wise, he's just not getting love. Maybe people are waiting. He's obviously played well in the regular season for the last few years, but he had that one playoff series where he was dominant, but other than that, he hasn't shown success in the playoffs. So maybe people are waiting. But a lot of his stuff, since it's that 2018 year, a lot of stuff that he has massive pops on it. I mean, his base card is probably in the 20,000 pops.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. I can't find it.
His Prism, I believe it was just under 20 a couple months
I mean,
ago.
his silver PSA 10 is at 2,000, over 2,000. I mean, this card has bottomed out. This card was regularly in the $5,000 to $7,000 range, and peaked at 9,700 back in March of a year ago, basically, and last sale was 2,900.
Wow.
I have to imagine that these will go up should he have any kind of playoff success and potentially win a title one day. But for now, I think, since the pops are so high, that people aren't touching it. His base.
But even at 2,000, there aren't people that that have the cash that'll buy a handful of them at 2,900 and see if they go to five?
Apparently not. I mean, the card, literally the card has gone down since October. October, this card was at 6,300.
And that was the start of the season.
Yep, start of the season, 6,300, and then literally just been falling ever since, and has settled into a range in that 2,800 to $3,000.
Okay.
And as I said, that it's sold for 3 to 4x that, not 4x, but 3.5x that a year ago. And it's not like he's playing bad, but he came into the season a little bit puffy and chubby, and I think people got a little bit concerned, and it hasn't rebounded, but his numbers are good.
No, little birdie told me Zion's healthy.
Really? Which little birdie is that? Are you giving out fake news here or what?
No, well, he's not. I mean, I don't know if he's healthy, but after JJ Redick destroyed him as a teammate and his image and value couldn't be any lower, he all of a sudden has now emerged as healthy and ready to start ramping up activities, which I find interesting.
Well, if they're going to trade him in the offseason, and get max value for him, he's got to get on the court.
Well, yeah, agreed. But my guess is himself and his camp, I feel like, decided, are you all right? Let's go.
Yeah, well, it's good for us. We got a bunch of.
Did you know he was out? He was out in Portland by himself,
Yep.
away from the team rehabbing.
Yep. Yeah. He was
Yeah, I
out with
didn't
his
know that.
team out there, and that also is why people are bashing him and stuff. And but at the same time, it's good for us. We got a bunch of Zion we're trying to sell, so get back out on the court, buddy, and dunk some basketballs. And
He's got to be healthy. If he actually cares about basketball, then he's got to be healthy.
yeah, I think he does. I think he wants to play. I don't think he wants to be the next Greg Oden and like the biggest bust in NBA history. So
Yeah, I just hope it's not one of these. I don't want to play in New Orleans anymore, so I'm just gonna be a pain in the ass and go somewhere else.
well, he's not being
Scenarios.
he's not being a pain in the ass. He's being a pain in the foot and just sitting on the sidelines until they dump him. I mean that the strong rumor is that he's getting traded in the offseason.
To the Knicks.
The Knicks are one of the teams that are being mentioned.
They get nobody.
They have two out of the three of the guys that went to Duke together, and there's definitely rumors that he's on his way to New York, but there's also like 4 or 5 other teams being talked about. Either way, if he gets on the court,
hire Coach K.
if he gets on the court, plays good basketball, people love Zion. People want to see Zion prices go up. So I think you'll see spikes quickly. If he gets on the court first night, the first night that he drops 25, 30 points and looks healthy, you're going to see massive spikes.
I'll wait to see how sore he is the next morning.
And we'll go rub his foot for us so that we can dump some of these cards. All right, we are easily over time here. You have anything else you want to talk about for the fine folks at home?
No. Happy BGS 10 hunting.
Yes. All right, that will wrap up episode 49. Follow social media, Sports Card ADVTG on Twitter and Instagram. Send us any emails for stuff you want to talk about on the show. info@sportscardadvantage.com. Website is dropping next week. I promise we will announce it on episode number 50. We will give some stuff away. We will drop the new website. We'll get it all done, and have a nice little party for the 50th anniversary episode of the podcast. I don't think it makes sense, but we're gonna fucking
the 50th anniversary of the first episode.
Exactly. We'll run with it.
All
right. Enjoy everybody's weekend. We're gonna upload this shortly and get it live for you, and we'll see you in 4 days or whatever it is until we get to next Thursday. Have a good one.